Why, hello, everyone. Happy Sunday. Welcome to Dishin Days, where we serve up a full dish of this week's episodes of NBC's #1 award-winning hit soap opera, Days of Our Lives. I'm your host, Tony Moore, and I am joined by Magagala Gals. We have Not Looking So Lumberjackish.
No, it's too hot for the lumber. It's like 90 degrees here.
Yeah,
it's too hot for the lumberjack shirt, but
too warm.
Tony's in a hoodie though. Too hot.
Too hot.
It's too hot. It's too hot for my whatever. I'm over it. Michael Mattis, how are
you? And of course, down below with his bookshelf.
Hey guys, Justin Harold.
And our lovely and beautiful and talented Araceli is out making movie magic. Yes. She will be back with us next month. She's gonna be gone for like the next couple weeks.
December.
Yeah. So we'll see her then. But we wish her well on her movie magic makings happenings. If you are tuning in now, thank you so much for tuning in live. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's youtube.com/Dishin Days. So make sure you go ahead and click that button, click the bell button, so that way you're notified when we're going live and in living color. And of course, make sure you follow us on all social media platforms. We are Dishin Days Show on Facebook, Dishin Days on Instagram, and _Dishin Days on the Twitter. The @ is currently having a bowl of Meow Mix.
It's currently in a white Bronco-looking vehicle in Azusa.
To whoever told Michael Mattis about the car chase, thank you. He decided to pull it up right before our show. Also, make sure you buy our merch. BUYMERCA. Buy our merch. Our merchandise website is dishindays.threadless.com. Make sure you buy yourself a hoodie, a sweatshirt, a long sleeve shirt with our logo, or serving up a full dish. At some point, we'll have some weird stuff. Also, if you are a lover of soaps and want to get your full fix, make sure you head over to JLJ Media on YouTube, where you can get a full recap of General Hospital, Young and the Restless, and Bold and the Beautiful, brought to you by my chocolate twin and former co-host of Dishin Days, Mr. James Latcher.
He posted, I don't know, did we post it on ours, the throwback to Day of Days 2 years ago?
Oh, I don't think we posted it on Dishin Days.
With James and Tammy and everybody.
You know what? That could be a flashback Friday.
Flashback Friday? Flashback Friday?
We can post that on Friday when they do Day of Days on this Friday. We can do a flashback of all of our times on
I was just like, I just saw it. I was like, holy cow, that was 2 years ago. Last time I saw y'all, I've seen Tony around. Oh, well, I've seen Justin too.
Yeah, we've all seen each other.
Yeah,
I mean, hello.
So soon I forget. Yeah,
we had. Well, you forgot because of our.
Yeah.
So there's that. All right. Those are the church announcements. What did we think of this week's episodes of Days of Our Lives?
It was pretty good.
Michael. Go easy on me, baby. I was singing that song before the show started.
Oh my gosh, Adele over here. Yeah. No, I thought it was a pretty good week. Yeah, and then it ended with a surprise.
Yes.
Yeah.
What did you think?
I really liked this week. I thought it was fun. It was a lot of fun. It was
very campy.
Yeah,
which I appreciate.
Exactly. Yep. Very campy. Yeah, we got some interesting scenes with some people where certain things for storylines for me were, I thought in the past were boring, and they were spiced up a little bit with the different pairings this week.
I for some reason am very vested in the Devil storyline.
Oh yeah. Well, I think they've really put a lot of effort behind that one because it's very engaging and it's very, it's out of the ordinary for everything. I mean, for anything we've seen on the show in the past, since 25 years ago. Yeah, right. So, and it's fun. It's been fun to watch. And I think Cat Susan was my favorite. Like I cackled like multiple times.
Well, wait, don't get into it now. Let's get into it now. It's now we gonna break it on down. It's now time to start.
Dishin
Days. That's the closest we've ever. Do I sound like I'm in like a hole?
No.
Like, do I sound far away? Do I sound very clear?
There's an echo, but you sound clear.
I'm trying to use better equipment. I got a new microphone.
Nice.
There ain't no
I know you're gonna
man.
There's a fire. Sorry. All right, so let's get into it.
Goodbye.
Let's start with the first storyline, which is Marlena, Dawn, Susan, Kristen, Paulina, Brady, Steve, and Kayla. Okay, can we just go right into it?
Yes.
Yeah. What, the two Kristens?
Yes. How do we feel? Because so at the end of Friday's episode, that was the what?
The surprise cliffhanger.
Yes. How do we feel about Eileen Davidson reprising her role as Kristen for the sake of the devil storyline?
I'm curious. Like, obviously, it created a lot of intrigue. JLJ, yes, best surprise. He put it mildly. I don't think any of us were expecting that. We had talked a little bit about, like, there was talk about Eileen's coming on the show at some point, but we didn't know under what circumstance or when it was going to be, and then how Susan morphed into her at the last second on Friday. Obviously, it, like I said, created a lot of intrigue, a lot of questions. The way I see this going, since we have Kristen, played by Stacy, in the prison, or not in prison, in the police office, I think they're using Eileen to be the devil's, Kristen as the devil, and then this also lets them use flashbacks of the previous possession storyline when Eileen Davidson was playing Kristen, because if you remember during, and I don't know if they're going to use this, but Kristen, the devil used Kristen's body to try to seduce John at least once, and then used Kristen's body as stripped her and then painted a pentagram on her back. So I'm thinking that that's how this is playing out. That Stacey Hayduk is playing real Kristen and Susan, and then Eileen is playing the devil's Kristen.
Okay.
I love Eileen. I think a lot of people love Eileen. It's always great to see her. I'm a little like, I don't know, sort of like head tilted. Like, I get it. Like if she's the devil's version of Kristen, but I'm also kind of like, was it really needed?
Was it necessary? Yeah.
Yeah. Was it necessary? Did they really need I don't want to say like a ratings grab.
Like a stunt. Yeah.
Yeah. Like what was was it? This is script. I don't even know what that means, but okay.
Funny.
But yeah, I don't. Yeah, I was kind of like, oh, Eileen, and I was like, okay, they're gonna do like a two Beckys thing, which I think interests me. It would interest me if it was played differently, like if Eileen and Stacey were sharing the role for some reason, like Stacey had something to do and they kind of needed Eileen to step in. But I don't. If I was Stacey, I'd kind of be like, what's going on here? Like, what are we doing? I kind of feel like if it's her role, let her have the role, and you kind of undermine her a little bit when you continually bring Eileen back, and it's like Eileen's great and we know she's great, but let Stacey have it if it's hers,
Here's the thing. It was great to. First of all, I love Eileen Davidson.
We all do.
She is the original Kristen. But we also all love Stacey Hayduk and the work that she has brought to Kristen. I was fine with Eileen Davidson as Kristen for Beyond Salem because Beyond Salem was a separate show from the main show. I feel like if they were going to do this, then Stacey Hyde should have been completely off the canvas, just so we can have this isolated moment. And then if Kristen returned, she returns as Stacey.
Mm-hmm.
See, I think that would be more confusing.
But hold on. What's jolting is 2 scenes before Susan morphed into Kristen, we just saw Kristen as Stacey Hyde.
Yeah.
So while fans are excited and fans who watched the original Possession know the history of the Possession, before anyone is like, you don't know the history, that was before I started watching. Okay. But I know that Kristen was a part of this story. Eileen Davidson as Kristen was a part of this storyline. The devil used her body, all this kind of stuff. It makes sense in this realm. But in the realm of you have recasted this role to then bring the original person back to fill in this spot of this storyline feels a little like, what? Like, I thank you for satisfying the history and the fans, but to what cost? Because then you have the actress who is currently playing Kristen maybe scratching her head and going, well, what does this mean for me? You know what I mean?
There should have been like some communication,
and maybe there was. We don't know. We're not there.
Exactly. Yeah, we don't know what all went on behind the scenes. And there is a photo of Eileen and Susan, or Eileen and Stacey together that one of the websites published, where they were obviously on set together. There was no kind of like, oh, we need to do this hush hush. So there had to have been some kind of communication. I remember reading an interview with Stacey, but I think it was regarding Beyond Salem, about why they were using Eileen as Kristen on Beyond Salem. And she says she's like, oh, they explained it to me and it was kind of jarring, but at the end of the day, I understood what they were trying to do. Now with this, I don't know, who knows what kind of communication went on. I still think that they're just using Eileen, and we have to see where it goes. We don't know what's going to happen in further episodes, but I think they're just using Eileen as Devil Kristen. And I can work with that as a viewer.
But you know what's going to happen.
No, we don't.
I mean, but as far as like in the realm of the show, like on Monday we're going to be watching Devil Kristen, right? Yeah. And then they're going to click, and then Stacey Hyde is Kristen is going to be talking to Gwen in the police station. Yeah. So then, let's say a viewer who hasn't watched Days for a number of years, but has tuned back in, because the Possession storyline and everything, is that jarring to them? Is that kind of like, wait,
it might keep them interested. They may tune in and they may be like, oh, I want to keep watching to see why I'm seeing 2 Kristens on my screen. This could be a stunt. Like this could be a stunt to pull in people, and a way to use Eileen without kicking Stacey to the curb. The best of both worlds. We have Stacey as real Kristen. We have Eileen as Devil Kristen.
For me, I just kind of feel like it would have been best to do this with Stacey off as Kristen. You know what I mean? Because like there's been this long period where we haven't seen Kristen, right? Yeah. And then Kristen comes back, but then there's this now Devil Kristen. So I feel like just to isolate it, if Stacey Hyde wasn't back as Kristen yet, then I could maybe be on board with Devil Kristen. But it's just jarring to have the original and the actress now playing her like in the same episode. 2 scenes away from each other. You know what I mean? I just feel like, if this was explained to Stacey, her reaction to the producers were probably, Go easy on me, baby.
Yeah.
I'm still Kristen.
And I think Patrick TV said this, and it immediately popped in my head. Ron actually told us when we interviewed him about that other story. Like, he didn't sort of mention specifically about the two Abigails he was going to do. And I think maybe this is like a version of it, of having both actresses come on. See, that to me is more interesting than I think what this is. So that actually popped into my head when I saw it. I was like, oh, are they
and this
have both of them share the actual Kristen role? And I thought, like, oh, that could be kind of interesting. But the sort of like her playing the devil version of Kristen, which we probably know is going to be short-lived, is like, oh, okay. It's nice to see Eileen, but it's so not needed for me.
I don't know. I'm here for it.
I mean, at the end of the day, it'll be fine.
Yeah.
But it was just like, it was get over what?
Oh, God.
It's our show. You don't have to get over anything.
What am I getting? You know what? Chad Marks. Go easy on me, baby.
See,
You know
you
what?
don't have to pay for
Everything's
tickets to
perfect.
Adele.
We
You have
love
Adele right here.
everything 100%. We kneel at the feet of everything everyone does, and
But so wait, everyone. So we were just talking about the whole like Marcy Kate moment, right? I feel like that's different because that was intriguing. Because we were like, wait, like is someone going cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs to where like
I feel
they
like
see
that was
Abigail, but they see Abigail.
I feel like that was supposed to be leading somewhere and then they maybe canned it or didn't go as far as they wanted to with it.
Yeah,
but
Ron sort of hinted at that.
Yeah, I feel like yeah.
I mean, that was interesting. I mean, listen, at the end of the day, like I was about to say, like it was a great surprise to see, Mine Suzanne turn into, Kristen Devil.
And honestly, like watching the week, this was Stacey Hayduke's week. She stole this week. Like,
oh yeah.
Like I know it ended with Eileen, but this was Stacey Hayduke's week. As every Susan scene was hysterical.
Yeah. Listen, you guys, I'm being a fan with open arms, but let's be realistic. Like right now, we have an actress that has been playing Kristen. Like, and then to bring back the original Kristen is kind of like, I'm glad everyone's jumping for joy. I am too, but it's still very jarring to like do that, and you have to put yourself in the position of the person currently playing, that character, how they might feel about that. It would have been interesting to see what kind of chemistry Stacey Hayduke and Drake Hogestyn could have came up with. Maybe it still would have been just as sexy and hot. We don't know. But see, but this goes to what I'm saying. Like this was obviously done. Well, I don't want to say obvious, but it's like it's done to appease us as fans and keep us intrigued and keep us excited.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of like, but what if, like what if, you give Stacey Hayduke the sexy look of Kristen, and what would she do with it? What would it be like to see her, interact with Drake? So, Chad, how about you get over it, girl? How about you get over it already? Okay. Do what
Apparently, Ron did something like this before on One Life to Live, where there were two Todds. Didn't see it, didn't watch One Life to Live, but it was under Ron, so.
Yeah. But what was the story behind it, though?
I don't know.
Was it, whatever.
Yeah, I'd kind of be intrigued in seeing like Stacey as Susan and then Eileen as Kristen, like in a scene together, so they don't have to do that back of head thing they do when they put the two characters together. I think that would be interesting because we never see them face to face, of course, because it's the same actress. But maybe do something like that would be interesting to me. But yeah, I mean, it's all good at the end of the day.
I mean, as hokey as this storyline is to some, I just felt like it's like Michael said, it's been very intriguing all week, and Stacey Hayduke killed it the second she showed up at Ben and Ciara's, and she was like, "I had a premonition about your baby," and then she. Just that whole scene was so funny, and then when Ben suggested, well, why don't you touch her belly? Oh, God, and Ciara was like, and then Susan was like, and then she was like, I meant her belly.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But when are you ever gonna feel a six pack? I was like, Susan, I'm with you, honey.
Yes.
But it was also because we forget that at least I did. I forgot that Susan has premonitions and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. That's how.
Yeah, I always forget that part of her.
Yeah, that's how they were able to find
Ciara.
Mm-hmm. And I love how she put the connection of the evils together when Marlena grabbed her. Mm-hmm. And she was like, is it me? Or when that happens, do you wish sometimes they would just go
play cool or
and then just be like, I'm gonna head out.
Yeah, right. And then like as soon as she felt it, she's like,
I gotta go run an errand.
Dr. Marlena Evans, you are right. You are so right. I am so sorry. I am going to stay out of their business. Yeah, exactly. But I am going to go because my poor Roger is missing me.
Yeah.
And then but then they sit there and they like tell all their business and then they end up turning into a cat.
Well, she thought she was safe with the huge crucifix she packed just in case. For evil.
So why didn't that crucifix have any effect on the devil?
Maybe it wasn't blessed.
Because it didn't have Jesus on it?
Or dipped in holy water.
Oh.
Or I think, remember, they've been making a point that this devil is stronger than the previous 25 years ago kind of a thing. So like the changing of the eyes and the being able to sort of the holy water not working on them. So
yeah, because remember, she went into the church.
They
went into the church and
gender non-binary.
Yeah, and like the church had no effect. She was able to the whole time.
She was a matrix through the church.
Turned the cross upside down, and she was like, "Holy water does nothing." So, yeah, apparently this devil is very strong. But Kristen, I love, again, history. You carry a cross? I sure do. Ever since that Yvonne and that Vivian, that I knew they were vampires, and no one believed me.
Oh, God. Yes.
I've been carrying it around ever since. But what made me laugh was when the devil took it and just went, wait. Okay, just pretend the way of it.
I know, not from the front.
Okay, there was the scene with Marlena and Brady where she was holding the knife behind her back and then she just casually puts it down and Brady says nothing.
She did. I thought she was really trying to hide it from, and then she turned around and just like casually brought it out and put it down. I was like,
and then said nothing, and I was like, that's weird.
Yeah.
So, like, why do you have a butcher knife? Like, what are you doing?
Can we talk about how the devil wants everybody to get it on?
Oh, yeah. God, that was hilarious.
Because when Mardevil told Brady, you should go in there and grab Chloe, place her on the coffee table, and tell her how big.
Show her how big your love is.
How big your love is? Yes, I was like,
oh, okay. Show us how big your love is. Yes.
Oh, hey.
Come and get your love.
Happy 15th anniversary to Eric Martsolf, by the way. I know.
Yeah. His facial expressions in that scene were everything. He did a great job in that scene.
But I was just like, I was like, Brady, you've been knowing this woman forever. Like, that didn't seem off to you?
It seemed like, okay, so he took it like it did seem a little off to him, but he didn't question it enough.
Yeah, like,
you know what I mean? Like, he did recognize that it seemed a little odd, but it should have been like that. That's a big red flag.
Yeah.
Like Dr.
Right.
Marlena Evans telling him to go grab Chloe and bang her on the conference room.
Or when she
the
was like,
conference table.
when she was like, "Oh, remember John did the same thing to me and it worked." I was like, "Oh."
I was like, he doesn't want to hear that. Like, I wouldn't want to
know,
hear that.
right?
When she said, like, when he ravished me on the tail, I would have been like, Mom, no, girl, stop.
She
I
did
was like, uh-oh.
I swear she did everything but said when he ran up in me. I was waiting for that because I was like, we keep going with this, okay, Marlena.
Oh my goodness.
Oh,
But I'm sorry, the best was Paulina showing up. And I honestly thought she found
Susan. Yeah.
Susan.
Yeah.
I mean, she kind of did.
No. But when Marlena bent down and picked up that cat, I said, oh, not the devil being able to change people.
Yeah.
She's like, this is Susan.
I thought she was going to see Susan and Marlena was just going to play it off like, Susan's
Like,
kooky or she's taking a nap or, whatever kind of a thing.
Or like, oh my gosh, I thought she left.
Yeah.
She casually picked up that cat. The best line, though, is Paulina going, never seen a cat with buck teeth.
Because she has dental problems.
I'm like, not the cat keeping the same type of teeth.
Oh.
That's crazy.
Every time they showed a close-up of that cat, I don't know why, it cracked me up.
Yeah.
Because it was just
You know
like
why?
his big eyes, and it was just like Susan was just like, help me.
Because that cat was not aware of what was going on. That cat could give two bleeps about where it was at. Probably thought it was at a new home. Like, oh, we moved in? Who's this for?
Oh my God, it was hilarious.
The other part that cracked me up was on Friday when she was taking the cat and Belle and Sean showed up. She was like, oh, I found it roaming the halls. I'm going to take it to a shelter. Well, don't you want to find its owner? I mean, they put cats down at shelters. And she's like, yeah, well, catch the door for me.
I love the Mardevil's exasperation with everyone just to be like, girl, leave me alone. I don't have time for you. Like,
what's funny is that Ron said they changed the voice because the devil's voice before sounded like a bitchy gay man. But this devil is like the bitchiest gay man ever. Like
with the voice of whoever they're playing.
Yeah, exactly.
Because this hat is like all cricket. But like it's interesting to hear the devil as Susan.
Oh yeah.
Yes. And when she laughed, she went her.
I think there was one part where Susan as the devil was trying to smile. Well, we all know that like those are like teeth.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like, wait, oh, just wait. That's all right.
Yeah, you can only do so much.
Don't ask me why I have the.
I know. I was gonna.
Okay, so you need to put those teeth in and then try to sing Adele.
Oh, let's see.
Oh God, challenge.
Oh my God. A devil instead of Adele.
That's how I would sound as the devil. But hold up. Hold on.
You got your Bible. The good book right there.
And what else? Oh yeah, this. Okay, we're good. What else? Oh, okay, and then you know what though? Prayer works. Because when Susan got down on them knees,
oh yeah,
and she was praying, I said, see, this whole time y'all just needed a good prayer.
Yeah.
And that devil said, pow, and Marlena said, oh, and just fell out.
And then but then when the devil shook her, she went, "Ooh!"
I know, right?
That was such a powerful. It's like, oh my God! I was like, Deidre, you okay, girl?
You know what that reminded me of? Do you guys remember back in the day when Austin ran over Sammy with the car? and they showed it was probably a stunt double, but Sammy just like catapulting on the. I was like that popped into my head.
It was like Allison Sweeney's eyes and like the tail.
It looked like
light.
a dummy, honestly.
Dummy,
someone
yeah,
just
it really did look like a dummy.
It looked like a dummy that someone just was like, they're like, all right, throw it.
Yeah.
Like a rag doll.
Oh
man.
God.
But yeah, that's all in all, what a very interesting storyline. And
it was
then,
just very like the devil storyline this week. When you think they can't get any campier than the undead coming back, which we'll talk about in another storyline. But then they bring on this was just kind of fun camp, and it was fun to watch and kind of giggle at, and interesting to see where it goes. Of course, what we talked about, we kind of exhausted that topic of two Kristens, Eileen. I am curious to see what they're gonna do. Yeah,
and then I'm glad that Patch is kind of getting suspicious, and so is Kayla.
Yeah.
So it feels like that's starting to be in the makings of like, all right, now Steve and Kayla are gonna
get in the mix because Steve did his work and found out that John was not sent, and then he was trying to pressure Kayla into listening to the tapes. But okay, so Kayla's boundaries,
I know, right?
Are not consistent. Like she's like, oh yeah, go into the doctor's office, take whatever you want, but then she's like, you can't listen to those tapes.
I know.
I'm like, but as the chief of staff, can't she?
What?
Listen to the tapes?
No, but Steve wanted to listen to the tapes, but that would break doctor-patient confidentiality.
But she can't.
But hasn't she? Oh, no, I see what you mean.
Yeah,
she listens to the tapes and tells Steve.
Yeah.
That would still be breaking confidentiality.
I guess it's technically still HIPAA. Yeah, I mean,
but
it's Kayla. Like Kayla breaks rules all the time. So I was like, you can't do this. I'm like, okay, girl, fine.
I kind of thought she was going to do one of those, like, listen, I'm going to tell you no, and then if you happen to go to Marlena's office and go in her drawer and hit play, you know what I mean? I thought she was going to do one of those things of like, I'm telling you no, but secretly go ahead and do it kind of a thing. But yeah, I guess not.
Yeah. All right. Well, we spent forever on that. Let's move on to some of the other things that happened on Days of Our Lives. Ben, Ciara, Susan, Belle, Sean, Theo. We already kind of covered Susan coming in and having the premonition about the baby. But now we've got Theo.
Belle and Sean got a little too, like, I felt like they were a little too, and they didn't encounter Susan herself, but they were a little too, like, harsh.
Yeah.
When they were talking about Susan, they're like, give her a piece of my mind. I'm going over there. And I was like, chill out. Like, what? Right. You guys are bored, is what's happening.
Yeah, I did like the sort of the plot of like Ben really sticking up for Susan and being like, listen, I know she's a lot, but she actually helped me find you. Like, let's not forget that and all of her craziness.
Yeah.
Like,
I like
the reason I found you. Like,
and Ciara kind of went with him and was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Trust.
Yeah, because Ciara was not having it at all. Yeah. And especially when like Susan first touched her belly and realized there was evil and she passed out. And then Ciara.
Right.
Oh, well, good morning, sleepyhead. How you doing? And then Susan just waking up being like, oh my gosh, I am so sorry. And I'm like, not the shoes on the bed. But yeah, and I mean, listen, Susan wasn't wrong. I mean, Ben thought she was a little kooky and it didn't make sense or whatever, but then now he's a believer. So I wonder, because it kind of ended, I wonder what Theo's reaction next week is going to be to finding out that Ben and Ciara are having a baby.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be anything except congratulations. Move on, bang.
Yep.
Yeah, just move on. I mean, yeah. I will say I got a kick out of Johnny like being completely uninterested in anything having to do
I
with
know, he was
fantasy.
like-
It's like, and the funny thing was when they walked up, popped into my head. I was like, oh, does she like we haven't gotten a Johnny Ciara scene, right? I was like, oh, does she even like know he's in town? Are we gonna get like a reunion kind of a thing? And she was like, hey Johnny, and he was like, yeah, hey girl, and then like went back to the cards, and I was like, oh, okay, I guess I was like, okay, I guess this happened off screen or whatever, that they know that he's back, he's back in town, whatever, and said their hellos or whatever. But yeah, he was completely not interested in any of that.
Mm-mm. All right, and that was pretty much it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, Belle is still very suspecting of Marlena and feels like she's being a little
Not
weird.
quite right.
Yeah,
Something is just not computing up here.
Catch the door for me, will you? At the shelter.
Oh wait, you have this again down here, Michael Manus.
What?
Right there.
Oh, whoops, my bad.
Oh, where are we? Sorry, and then I skipped ahead. All right, now we have Lord. Brady, Chloe, Phillip, Victor, Ava, Jake, Gabby, Trask, Kate, Phillip, Lucas.
Melinda Trask was also MVP of this week. She was not having it with anybody. And yeah.
I mean, the deals that she keeps striking, I'm like, girl, will you just do your job?
And her confidence, like she's walking around just with that smirk. She's like,
I was a little like put off by the Xander blackmail. Like, we know she can be devious, but she's usually devious in like pursuit of justice and the law and like really taking people to task. So I thought like this was a little too out of character for her to just be like, yeah, I'm gonna blackmail you for $1 million. It was
well,
like
the way that they kind of softened that was what the way they explained what she was using the money for. That's kind of, and I mean, I know it's still a little bit out of character, but when they put that spin on it, I was like, okay, I'll go with this, because you're right. It's usually what you said, in the pursuit of justice, and this seemed to just be petty, like greed. But she has altruistic plans for the money, at least.
Even that, like, I think the cause is good, but even that didn't sell me. Of like, it was just weird. And then it was this whole like Xander with this money thing. Like, this has been how many months now with this money?
Yeah,
like,
true.
He can't get it.
There was a point this week I was like, we're still talking about the money.
I'm like, please give him his money. Somebody give him money.
Give him the money and shut up about it.
Can't do this briefcase. It's his. It's not his. It's Bonnie's. Someone else steals it.
But I'm just trying to figure out how everybody getting this $1 million and it doesn't belong to them. Like, it belongs to. In all fairness, it belongs to Xander because Sammy gave it to Xander.
It's his.
And so, but then EJ tried to stake a claim on it. And then Bonnie stole it so that she could get rid of Callista. But then it ended up in the hands of Melinda, who then blackmailed Xander into giving it to her. I'm like, but this ain't, get that man back his money. That's his money.
I know. He
did what he needed to do in order to get it. Y'all don't have no dibs on it.
Yeah.
So, there's that. And then, okay, the Brady, Chloe, Phillip. The second he was at the door and misheard and then broke the glass and all that kind of stuff. I'm like, and then ripped up the tree. I'm like, here we go. I'm like, this is the moment where either one or two things are going to happen. Either Chloe is going to break up with Phillip or Phillip is going to kidnap Chloe.
Is this just, I'm curious if this is just a moment of rage with everything, like the misunderstanding of what he heard and then Victor firing him. If this is just a temporary moment or if this is leading to now we're going to get devious Phillip.
Yeah, I was surprised about the fake out with the promo of them on the conference table. I'm sort of glad about that. I'm glad that it didn't go that way with the actually slept together. I'm glad that was a fake out. Although it did make me wonder about Victor firing him. It made it seem like Victor had someone in mind, and Victor was Phillip was kind of pressing him about it, and he was saying no to all these people. I was kind of like, oh, who is he talking about? And I didn't know if we were going to get like a surprise kind of, someone kind of come in or something, but it seemed like Victor had someone up his sleeve in that point. So I thought that was kind of interesting of like, okay, are we That's what I was
didn't
kind of
really.
wondering
Yeah, you're right,
who was
Justin.
gonna
He
come
did.
in.
You're right, but they didn't really.
Yeah, they didn't
reconcile that yet.
reveal it. Yeah.
Oh my God. Just me in the chat room. If that happened, no. Please let Joe Mascalo rest in peace.
Yeah, no. No.
Let that. I mean, listen. Talk about somebody who. I hope his family still gives residuals for
every time the portrait's on the screen. Yeah.
Every time the portrait is on the screen, every time his name is mentioned. I mean, the man is surely,
We already got a Stefano resurrection when we had Steveno, and that was enough.
Which was great. Yeah, but we don't need nothing else.
No.
Yeah.
Oh God.
And you, oh my God.
Even Avatar, I love it.
They don't got the money for that. Let's be real.
Avatar.
It would be the side of the face again. They're like, hello, Paulina.
The back of the head, right?
Oh, you know what? That, to the writers, in case you watch, I think that would be a fun Halloween episode. Just have someone that looks like Stefano just walk through Salem and have him pass by people so they go, Stefano,
Right.
Stefano, he is alive.
Yeah.
Stefano.
Mm-mm.
That would be funny. All right. Anywho, Phillip and Lucas tried to have a conversation about the whole Brady Chloe situation, and then Kate inserted herself. I don't feel like I feel like they were all just really still jumping to conclusions about seeing Brady and Chloe go into the Salem Inn. Mm-hmm. But it also shows that Phillip does not trust Chloe. Mm-hmm. It has nothing to do really with Brady. It's, because Brady can do whatever. Brady could walk into the Brady pub, bucking naked. Well, not the Brady pub. Basic Black, buck naked.
He's really trying to get Brady naked on this episode.
I mean, see the Brady curve.
Yeah.
I told you Eric Martov asked me what the Brady curve was.
Yeah. Ooh. Mm-hmm.
And I literally found the picture of him laying there, and I drew what it was, and then I put the curve. I'm actually still may have that photo. But as I talk about this, I will say it. But
I'm still upset that they're not giving Kate more to do than just these meddling one-off conversations. Now, when you were saying, Justin, like, oh, Victor has someone in mind, I was thinking, oh, maybe Kate. But then I feel like Kate's kind of washed her hands of that business, so that wouldn't really make sense. But I need. Yeah. I don't know. Kate needs something more to do.
I'm so with you. I think we've had her have this conversation now. Every time she hasn't been on a lot in the past couple months, but every time
she only had one episode in October.
It's the same conversation with Phillip or Lucas. If it's not about Chloe,
and then the random conversation with Julie last week.
Yeah. Or it's about Lucas and Sammy, or it's like this ongoing conversation with Roman about getting back together. It's like, okay, like mix her up with the Demiras again. I like her cemented in that family. And we know she's still working for EJ and Chad. Like, I want to see that grouping. Yeah.
Y'all, my mom just texted me and said, "What's the Brady curve?" Kid you not. As I was like trying to find the picture, she literally texted me and was like, "What's the Brady curve?" Well, Mom, I'm glad you asked. Because I found the picture. I'm gonna see if I can email it and
we're educating.
We can show what the Brady is.
Those are some hot scenes.
What
with him and Eve? Yeah, that's where it came from. Yeah, it
came from him and Kristen.
Oh, was it him and Eve? Oh, okay. Oh, there were other scenes with him and Eve. The other scene that
he's been with so many of the past couple of years. It's hard to keep track.
Yeah,
I'm laughing because you tried to whisper that as if like
I know.
I mean,
You were like you were trying to keep it to yourself, but in actuality, you were not. Okay, so to answer everyone's question as to what the Brady curve is, I present to you the Brady curve.
Oh, God.
So as you see,
it's Kristen. Yeah.
There's this part here. That is the Brady curve, right there, to answer everyone's question.
Like, and you have like the secondary curve.
I know.
What secondary curve?
Like the one below the main one.
Oh, right here.
Yeah.
Like his
Oh, that's just, that was just by accident.
Oh,
but this is the Brady curve right
Yes.
there. My gosh, our show is so ridiculous, aren't we? Asking, you shall receive.
Yep.
Now I wonder what my mom is going to text me about that.
she's just sitting in shame.
Right.
My son.
But I feel like people are not really vested in this triangle as they.
I mean, we're definitely not. We've said that week over week. We're just like, it's the same. There's a repetitive formula week after week. Phillip misunderstands an interaction between Brady and Chloe. He gets mad. Chloe gets mad at him for getting mad. Brady's just kind of like, I won't do anything. And then it happens again and again and again. And now we're like on the fifth or sixth time this has happened. And so we, when you were talking about like, okay, now he's going to, kidnap Chloe or something like that needs to happen in the storyline. Something like drastic needs to happen, or because we can't just keep having this formula week after week after week. It is just like you do get to the point where you're like, come on, just like we don't care anymore.
I think what it is that like it was trying to be nostalgic and take us back to back to the last blast and all that. But I think these characters have matured.
Exactly.
So I believe when Chloe said she had feelings for Brady, but they weren't returned, I think she did sit with herself and kind of go, all right, I'm going to make this decision to really give Phillip a try. And instead of maybe just kind of honoring that and maybe her still kind of fighting those, like the feeling of Brady or something like that. I mean, that could have been a thing. And having Phillip just not revert back to like old habits and old ways. I think that's the problem, is that like we're seeing this adult Phillip act like high school Phillip.
Yeah. Yep.
While Brady and Chloe are a little more mature about the situation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Chloe is not going to do anything because she made the decision to be with Phillip.
Yeah.
And if anything goes wrong with Phillip and Chloe's relationship, it's because of Phillip.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with Brady. I think Brady could have advanced, Chloe and tried to woo her and everything like that. And I think Chloe would have resisted. But it would have been probably at the detriment of Brady and Chloe's relationship.
Yeah.
It's like, Brady, I told you I'm with Phillip.
Yeah.
Leave me alone. We can be friends or we cannot be friends. What do you choose? Because I think that's just the Chloe character. So
yeah. Yeah, I would have rather seen Chloe I would have rather have her get mixed up with the Phillip and Ava stuff. Would have been more interesting, or have her with Nicole a little bit more or something. Like, we don't need the triangle. These are all great characters on their own. Like, we don't need to rehash this. It could have been broken up and put them together in different scenarios with each other, but not a triangle again, or not even a triangle. It's Yeah.
All right. Well, before we into our tidbits, we just want to remind you guys to please take the time to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We are youtube.com/Dishin Days. You are probably watching us right now. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button. If you are listening to us on your favorite podcast station, which you can find us on iHeartRadio, Spotify, Google Play, and wherever podcasts can be found, please go to youtube.com/Dishin Days to not only hear our lovely voices, but to see our amazing faces. Because trust me, some of the expressions that we have are quite entertaining. Also, make sure you follow us on all social media platforms. We are Dishin Days Show on Facebook, Dishin Days on Instagram, and _Dishin Days on Twitter. And we say all these things all the time because it's very important that we stay connected with you guys so that every Sunday you are here giving us your thoughts and opinions about what you saw in Salem. Also, make sure you guys buy our merch, please. DishinDays.threadless.com is where you can find it. All right, let's
One thing we didn't go over about the part about Ava, Jake, and Gabby was that the whole undead, Ava confessed and claimed it was self-defense that she killed Carmine, even though it was really Zombie Charlie. But now everyone's kind of putting the dots together about, oh, you saw a dead person. Oh, you saw a dead person too. And now they're trying to reconcile what the F happened. So
the biggest thing is Rafe is kind of that link to know that Ava's story has some merit to it, seeing as how, and we'll get to more of this later, but the person that he was with had the same experience.
The conference table.
Yes.
Go ahead.
I loved Ava this week. To me, this is the Ava we should get. Not completely villainous, but still she had her edge, she had her spark. And that conversation with Melinda Trans, I was glued to the TV of where's she going with this? When she was like, I'm confessing, I was like, where's she going with this? And
yeah, exactly. I was like,
it worked to her favor.
Okay. Yeah.
And she laid it out as the mob boss that she was in that scene. I was like, okay, this is more of the Ava we need. We're done with domesticated Ava for now.
Lasagna Ava.
Yeah.
Oh my God, if someone walked through that house again and she was cooking something, then somebody please come and get that chalk outline up off of their kitchen floor. Who wants to come home to that?
I love that she stepped over it too after reading Gabby and Jake and was like, I'm gonna take a shower.
Oh my God. Oh. And then that rivalry continues. Oof. All right, let's go to Gwen, Xander, Jack, Chad, Abigail. I'm gonna be honest. We used to call this a pizza roll moment. This was definitely a pizza roll moment for me. I was just like, okay, yes, we get it. The secret's out. Everyone's kind of mending and healing from it. This storyline this week just felt like a time filler.
Yeah, I mean, there was no real movement with it. The part I liked the most was that, Jack always tends to act, all sanctimonious and righteous, I guess is the word maybe. Mm-hmm. And Xander kind of put him in his place at the end of that conversation. Your family's forgiven you how many times for your misdoings? Maybe your daughter's better and you're not willing to do the same. Maybe she's better off without you. And I was like, you know what? Good for Xander.
Yeah. That was the highlight for me too. Mm-hmm. And I think it gets lost. And I'm glad that we'll see how this transpires with Steve, but I like that Steve was sort of coming around more to Gwen. And we've said this before, she is very much a Johnson and she's more like they are than they are to Abigail. You know what I mean? I know they like to go on, and Abigail's the favorite, and she's the one they grew up with and everything. But Gwen is them. That was them 20 years or 30 years ago. It's exactly how they came to town. That's exactly the trouble they stirred up when they came. And she very much is a Johnson. And I'm glad that sort of Xander pointed that out to Jack.
Yeah. And then Chad and Abigail, they're making up, they're reconnecting, and
turn off the lights.
Justin's like, yeah, whatever.
Light a candle.
It's cute. Yeah.
Do you think that Gwen should be forgiven?
I think by Jack she should be. Abigail's a different story, but I think a relationship with a parent and child, I think is different. I think by Jack she should be.
Well, and we were kind of reminded that Gwen didn't have the intent to. I mean, she still did it, and it was still not correct. Her intent going into that situation those months ago was to be honest and say, like, I had a miscarriage, I lost my baby. It was only once Abigail antagonized her that she kind of had that moment of unclarity and said what she said. But I don't know if that's going to work in her favor or not.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it'll take a while for Abigail to forgive her, seeing as how Gwen came in like a wrecking ball. But I think that with Jack, there has to be maybe a little bit more understanding because that's his daughter, his other daughter. And it's not right and it's not okay, but I think
they're gonna make it anyway.
Yeah, but they can empathize with just like again, the Golden Girl is like sitting here telling me off about the situation and the baby and all this kind of stuff, and I'm going through the most terrible thing that anyone could be going through. And I think in that moment she was like, I'll get you, my little pretty. I mean, we've all like done that, but yeah. I wonder if Jack is just more upset that like the wool got put over his eyes again with Gwen. I think that's what he's probably going through.
Kind of
because
like
him being the sharp reporter, stellar reporter that he is, he feels like
yeah,
sharp as a tack.
So, all right. Well, that was that.
And then I'm curious to see what's going to happen with real Kristen and Gwen.
Yeah,
that's going to look like, because Kristen apparently has a plan for Gwen.
Yeah,
I don't know quite what that is or how long she's. It's almost like she came up with that when she heard. And I'm sorry, you would all of these years of that, office and what do you call it, like holding room, like. Never has anyone been able to hear from outside what they're saying. Now suddenly it's like clear as day. I'm like,
it was like she did the old school, put the glass up to the window, like put her ear on it. I was like, Chris.
If I were Gwen, okay. Michael Madis,
yeah,
role play.
Okay.
Your line, you're Kristen, I'm Gwen. Your line is, you're going to help me bust out of here.
Okay.
Action.
You're going to help me bust out of here.
You know what? No. So I've already been through enough. So
you're not doing the accent. Take two. Sit down. Re-rack.
Re-rack.
I can't believe you're going to make me do an accent. Okay. Take two.
You want me to do it?
No,
you do it. Okay. Action. You're going to help me bust out of here.
Oh, no, I am so sorry. I have been through enough trouble and I have troubles of my own. So good luck to you, Kristen. And hopefully I'll see you on the other side. Take care. Bye.
Yes. Where do we think we're going here? Because I feel like whatever she heard, there's a reason now why she's trying to recruit Gwen. And why is it you're gonna help me bust out of here? Like,
yeah, I wonder if it has something to do with Xander, because they were always in cahoots.
Yeah,
Xander and Kristen for the longest time.
And she did hear something about Xander being the only thing in Gwen's life right now.
Yeah,
Kristen heard that, so maybe that peaked something in her light bulb went off.
Did Xander didn't help Kristen the last? Were they in cahoots? Like, could she use that to get arrested? I'm trying to remember.
No, their cahoots was the whole natural thing where they were like basically resurrecting everybody. You know what I mean? But
I mean, the last time, like her last set of crimes, Xander wasn't a part of that because he was mixed up with the Sammy Lucas stuff. He wasn't mixed up with Kristen.
Right. He wasn't. No.
Yeah. Okay. That's what I was trying to remember. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Kristen still has the Ciara thing, but then I was like, why that wouldn't? I thought she was going to use that and not try and get.
I mean, maybe
now.
We don't know what she's going to use yet, so
Yeah.
I don't know.
they haven't really fleshed it out yet. But
it's coming.
yeah.
I did sort of like light bulb moment when she started naming the connection between them. I was like, oh yeah, that's right. You are Jake's sister, and she had the thing with Chad, and like that just slipped my mind of putting them together.
She basically came in and was like,
"You fucked half my family,"
or
literally,
you didn't know.
Over, so
literally and figuratively, yes.
Yeah.
If you didn't know, you now know. I am Kristen DeMera.
There's always that moment when Stacy is like, "I'm Kristen DeMera." I feel like she's used that a couple times, and it's like, it's meant to instill fear.
Yeah, it's like when people like if Phillip went, "Do you know who my father is? It's my Kyriakis." Like when they say Kyriakis, they're trying to insert like because everything has Kyriakis. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But when they're like Kyriakis, they're trying to instill fear. Kyriakis. Gotta hit that. Gotta hit the back of the throat. Kyriakis.
That's what she said. Anyway.
Paulina, Abe, Lonnie, Theo, Chanel, Johnny.
Tony has thought.
Yeah, what do you think it told me?
You have to admit, like Chanel looked good in the Celeste wig.
Oh, yes, she did.
She did. Yes, she did.
And she really did.
She kind of had the accent.
She kind of did.
Okay, so she kind of, it confused me because she kind of had an accent, but then in the scene later, she was like, "You didn't tell me she had an accent," and I was like, "Well, why?"
I know she was doing. I know that was a little like. I felt like Raven like really looked at those Tanya Boyd clips. It was like,
it just came out.
Yeah, she was really good. And she looked really good in that wig.
Do you guys think that was like the actual scene? Like when they're reading the script, like are these like the actual things and the actual scenes?
I feel like that. That was actual dialogue from a scene from. I mean, I'm sure it was. I mean, if it wasn't, it sounded like it was. I mean, yeah.
Stefano, no. I have a premonition about what's going to happen.
The cards.
90% of Celeste's scenes. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
There was always that back when Celeste was on and she would do the cards, and it would always be like she'd flip it over, and then she'd be like, "Oh!" And you always knew it was coming. You always knew it was coming. She'd be like, "Oh!"
It was never a good card of like, "Oh God, they're safe. They're gonna have a good day or a good."
No, it was never a good day. It's always a bad day.
It was always the third one.
It was always the third one. It was always death.
Over and immediately like grab her purse and be like, "I need to warn them," and like rush out of the house or wherever she was.
Yeah. Like she made at home in her robe with coffee. I just need to see what the.
Do you ever think Celeste was ever at home in her robe and was just like, turn on the TV, make some tea, and then a premonition came and she was like, "God damn it!" Like just wanted a night to herself.
Well, yeah, I was gonna watch Law and Order or something. Yeah, like I'm missing my shows.
But that was it.
Watch Friends.
Al Gregory says those were the actual.
Probably,
scenes.
Yeah.
No, do you mean like do you think the dialogue that there was actually in Days?
I think so. Yeah. Johnny was kind of good too, though. I thought Stefano was kind of cute.
Yeah, he's. I mean, listen. This is starting to go from like major blockbuster film to like independent
they kind of
student film.
Excuse me. I always thought that they were kind of treating this as like an independent guerrilla style film, but then like they use the words like blockbuster and those guys. So I'm confused. I'm like, what kind of movie is this supposed to be? Is this supposed to be like maybe a shot on an iPhone, kind of independent, like low budget, or is this supposed to be like a Marvel type movie?
I thought he was going for Marvel type because he kept telling people like you're going to be a huge star.
I think it's one of the. I think it's shot like an independent, but the idea is that it's going to be so good, it's going to blow take everyone by storm. Yeah, kind of blow up. Yeah.
I don't know. That was
Theo
a funny
called her
line though.
grandma. That was funny.
Yeah, when Theo walked in, it was like, "So you're playing my grandma?"
Mm-hmm.
But she really did look good in that Celeste wig, though.
Well, I mean, Raven looks,
yeah,
she's basically proven that she's like style icon now, and she can pull off a lot of looks. So
yeah. Speaking of Chanel, Lonnie and her kind of had this conversation about the whole matron of honor, and I think they're starting to put the pieces of the puzzle together.
Yeah, Paulina's hiding something.
Yeah, and like, and then Paulina went to Marlena and basically said she's not going to tell Abe.
Yeah. Right, and the devil thinks. Does the devil think she should?
It seemed distracted. They seemed distracted this time because they were like, okay, fine, whatever, Paulina. But before they were adamant about it. So I don't know if they're, but it seemed more like just to get rid of her. Like, okay, girl.
Oh,
yeah. Kind of like.
The devil was tired of everybody coming over to Marlena's house. It's like.
Yeah.
It's like every time the apartment door or townhouse door opened.
Yeah.
It's like the apartment was like, go easy on me, baby. That was for Chad Marks.
Let me ask you guys, I know, Tony, you were not crazy about, are you feeling better about this storyline of Lonnie not being Abe's, or are you still kind of like, rabbit?
Yeah,
it changes so much, and it changes so much of what we know, and
it disconnects that entire family pretty much. And I'm thinking that I don't know how they would do this. Like, Paulina knows whether she gave birth or not. That's not something, unless she was knocked out. Because I guess it's possible they could try to twist it that, oh no, you were actually pregnant for 9 months and you did give birth to a baby.
But it's not Lonnie.
Not Lonnie.
No. Like somehow keeping Lonnie in
Abe.
Or Abe's still the father. Somehow keeping Lonnie like connected to keeping the Carver family intact. Rewriting it in a way that keeps them together.
Because now they mention Brandon and like him and Celeste are on a safari.
Celeste are going on safari.
And it's just like so then if they're not connected, I sure am. If they're not connected, then does that mean at some point we're going to be introduced to the rest of Paulina's family?
Yeah.
Is there a brother?
Oh God, I'm sorry. I like.
Does Paulina have a brother? Is that what you're asking?
No, his next role is Tony's his next role.
Got it.
You know what? You enjoy. I can see that. I see it, Tony. Speaking into existence.
I have spoken.
I know, right? Listen, new role, new situation.
New role, new situation, same no.
Same shit, different role.
Same shit, different role. Exactly.
I have to say this. One of the things
Who would he be? He would be, let's see, starts with a P. What's a P name? A male name.
Paul. Oh no, there's already a Paul. There's already a Peter.
Already a Peter.
I
mean, does it have to be a P?
I mean, this has a lovely ring to it.
That's crazy. Okay.
What does he do? He works for Pricetown, but what does he do? I'm just putting that out there.
He's in charge of samples.
Samples.
Handing them out or eating them.
Oh, you know what? He's in charge of samples. And when he comes into town, he is going to be the rival bakery of Sweet Bits.
Ooh. Little brother, sister.
He's also gay.
Given.
I do want to say, part of me is okay with it. I think part of it is because it's Jack A kind of coming into this role, and I feel like they're giving her something sort of meatier to play with. But also, but also
Patent Price.
Patent
Price. Peer Price.
Price.
But also, remember the scenes we got? Oh, God. Remember the scenes we got last week with Nicole and Abe? That's what makes me feel okay with this storyline, because we already have that relationship established on the show where Abe is a father figure to someone else who he's not biologically related to. And I feel like they give him and Nicole those scenes, which we didn't talk about last week. You must have kind of skipped it and we're going over it. But those scenes to me were so good with those two, just sitting down and talking and relating to each other. So it gives me hope that even though he's not Lonnie's biological father, that they'll still continue a father-daughter relationship. Yeah. So I don't think it's a definite that when the secret comes out, whenever that is.
No, they're not just gonna be like, okay, it was real.
Yeah.
like see you later. No, I don't think it'll be like that. But there is something about the relation.
Yeah.
The element is gonna be gone.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, yeah.
We'll see more about that. Things to come. Okay, and last but not least, Rafe and Nicole did it. Now they have remnants.
Chloe had to clean up.
Oh my God!
I was like, what did she miss a spot of?
I know, right?
But I'm also like, what exactly was on that? Like, were you just cleaning it just because people were there? Were there prints? Like what? What were you cleaning?
The Brady curve was on there. The Brady curve print was on there.
The Rafe curve was on there.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, right.
I mean, listen, I think they've tried to resist each other for a while. I think they're now trying to navigate the after effects, but it's very clear and very quickly, Rafe don't give 2 iotas about Ava.
Yeah, and very quickly. I don't feel like it, obviously, well, I mean, her murdering someone, the prospect of her murdering someone is a big deal, but I feel like if he was as invested as he was leading on in that relationship, that would not have been the straw that broke the camel's back.
Yeah.
Which is how he seemed. So yeah, I think it's clear now that maybe he was just, deflecting, or not deflecting, what's the word? Trying to distract himself.
She was just in the meantime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the absence of care just to even be like your girlfriend's arrested. It was like, oh well, she probably did it. So let me.
But of course, now in the light of day, when he's hearing all of these other zombie stories, he's like, he's kind of questioning his immediate reaction to not believing her.
Yeah.
But you do realize that so every other time he's been given tidbits of information he has shared, i.e. when Gabby mentioned that Ava is the mobster and they used to work together. I'll start there. He mentioned that to Eli. And there was another tidbit that he found out and he shared it. He did not share that he went over to Basic Black because Nicole called him with a similar story of seeing a dead person and killing them and then them suddenly disappearing. When he was listening to Tripp and Ava explain Charlie, he looked at them as if this is the most far-fetched story ever, when in reality, this is the second time he's heard a story about this. Yeah. And he kind of believed Nicole and made her feel good. But didn't believe Ava. And then it kind of broke my heart when Ava was like, did you not get Sean's messages? Yeah. Where were you last night? And I was just like,
yeah,
he was at Basic Black doing it on the conference table with Nicole, your friend.
But this is also as much as we give Rafe the good guy sort of reputation, he does this in relationships. He did it with Jordan, he did it with Hope and Sammy. Whenever he has an option or sort of gets a little stagnant or bored in a relationship, he quickly will find a way to cheat on.
Whenever there's an issue in the relationship he's in, whether they're on a break or not, Araceli, if you're still watching, whether they're on a break or not, he does, stray.
Yeah, he does.
Well, all right. Well, we'll see how that continues to develop. All right, that was your week of days, and it's now time for our favorite part of the show, which are our segments. And we're going to start with mine, which is Tony's official 3 Snaps Award. All right, my 3 Snaps Award goes to not the Brady curve, although that does deserve 3 snaps, but it does go to Susan the cat. Listen, you gotta love it when Marlena turned Susan into a cat with her buck teeth and not a care in the world. And look at this picture. This is the most precious picture, and it was unexpected. I thought Susan was gonna be back there, not a black cat. So, Susan Banks, the cat, you get Tony's official 3 Snaps Award.
Oh snap!
Oh. There we go. I don't know if anyone heard that or not. All right, and now it is time. Lord Jesus, why is this my life? Live TV. We get to the same part over and over again, and I can never find. Oh yes, and now it's time for. And now it's time for. Oh Lord, caption that.
Great. All right. This week's caption that photo comes courtesy of Ben, Ciara, and Susan. And Susan getting a reading off of Ben. And this week's caption goes to Vanessa Avila, from on Instagram with her caption. At least Eileen Davidson doesn't get to feel those abs.
Oh,
not funny? Not funny?
No, it's cute. I like
I thought it was cute.
Yeah.
I missed it. Say it again.
Wait, yeah.
This week's caption comes from Vanessa Avila with her caption, at least Eileen Davidson doesn't get to feel these abs.
Okay.
Got it now. Yeah. I wish I did.
It's cute.
I wish I did. Yeah, I think we all did.
Mm.
Wow. And that was
last week.
Caption that. Oh, the photo he posted?
Yeah.
Lord.
There ain't
He posted another one a couple days ago.
He did. And now it's time for Those Were the Days.
Oh, guys, I'm taking you back for this excitement. Taking you back to November 10th, 2017, where JJ shot Theo. I just remember the storyline. This is where Days start to get a little incorporate some real world issues into the plot, and they had JJ accidentally, in this case, shoot Theo, who was trying to steal like some tech info for Demira. This was when, of course, Theo, he's a Demira, and was stealing some stuff for Andre, thinking Kate, and JJ caught him, and they were playing with the, of course, the fact that he's autistic and didn't pick up on the cues. And yeah, this just brought out some really great scenes with JJ and Abe, of course, and Kyler Pettis, who was Theo at the time. And yeah, as soon as I saw this pop up, I thought great sort of parallel to what Abe's going through now. But yeah, November 10th, 2017, when JJ shot Theo.
And those were the days.
The you got to do the.
Those were the days.
What fell?
There's all kinds of stuff on this desk. Okay, so go easy on me, Michael Mattis.
Okay.
All right.
You're just a child. Didn't have the chance.
But now it's time for some Disney gossip.
Right.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Oh, actually, before you start Disney gossip,
Lord, you too.
Congratulations to Soap Hub. They will be announcing their award winners live on the Talk next Friday. Yeah. So see your your local listings for the time that the talk comes on.
Yeah.
That's that.
Cool.
Okay.
First up, we have our virtual Day of Days. Just a reminder, it takes place in a little less than a week, Friday, November 19th, 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 6 p.m. Eastern, and you can check it live on NBC's both Facebook and YouTube pages. They haven't officially announced the lineup. What did you do? I'm guessing we're going to get that this week in the next few days. If we're going on sort of past the one from last year, it was a lot of cast interviews. Some trivia sessions, some really good matchups between the cast, and some tours. So yeah, don't forget to check that out. A virtual Day of Days, all free, Friday, November 19th.
I felt like, wait, Michael Mann, let's put that back up. Okay, I felt like we were a part of ABBA. If you change your mind, I'm the first in line. Honey, I'm still free. Take a chance on me.
I was gonna say, feel like the Brady Bunch.
Yeah, I was thinking Brady Bunch.
Okay.
Next up, we have Mr. Bill and Susan Seaforth Hayes. They are taking on a new project. This one is called Secret of Soap Opera Lovers. This is shot sort of documentary style. It's basically like an interview with them. They're sitting down. They're talking about basically the secrets of soap opera lovers, the scenes that they've done. Sort of highlights of playing a married couple on the show and how they incorporate their real life marriage sort of into their scenes. And you can check this out at the website soapopera-secrets.com, and they're releasing them as sort of lessons, like sort of maybe I think like 3 to 5 minutes. And I don't know the schedule, but I think they're releasing one every few days or every week or so, and you kind of click on it and kind of hear what they have to say about it. So soapopera-secrets.com.
Boom.
Next up, we have lovely South Star Wars. She has launched her website, Soul by South Star Wars. This is basically a beauty, fitness, wellness website and lifestyle site. And I can't. Okay, moving on. Okay, the website is up. The website is up. She doesn't have any content on it yet. It's one of those where you can put in your name. See, okay, now you're just playing. You can put in your name and email, and you can get updates when she has content. Content is coming soon. You can follow her on soulbysouthstars.com or on IG at soul@southstars.com.
Congrats to her. Good for her.
Yeah, congrats. She's been working on this for a few years, and I think she has some really great stuff coming up for people. So, and she's really passionate about fitness and wellness. And yeah, so big congrats to her. Next up, we have some very well wishes for our friend Brandon Barish, who plays Jake DeMira. I'm still known as Stefan. Jake DeMira. He is recovering from COVID, or has officially recovered from COVID. Yeah, so well wishes to him. I know he did an Instagram post, I think it was last week, saying he was all well. And yes, I specifically picked this picture. I picked another one, but this one I had saved in my on my computer. Don't ask why. And it popped up and was like, this is the perfect one to use. Yeah. So this is him looking very healthy and virile. So yeah, I thought it fit. So well wishes to Brandon Barish as he recovered from COVID. And last but not least, we have our latest fan event. This one is by Star Trek Fan Events. It takes place on Jekyll Island, Georgia, the weekend of January 15th through 16th. Stars Stacey Hyduke, got where right? Emily O'Brien, Matt Ashford, Dan Faragel, I think I said that right. Marcy Miller, Frugal, yes, Marcy Miller, and Eric Monsoff. This one has one of those themes. It's yesterday songs. Basically, every event that happens during the day, they'll be playing hits, I think, from the 60s through the 90s. This one also features some outings with the actors. I think there's a croquet sort of game or match you can do with the guys, and then a high tea with the women. And yeah, all tickets and information, you can go to starstruckfanevents.com.
Nice.
And that was your news and gossip. And now let's see what's going to happen next week. Next week.
Admit it, you still want me. Eileen Davidson returns to Days of Our Lives.
Why don't you take me right here, right now?
And the truth comes out.
Paulina and Lottie are mother and daughter.
Why can't they ever just have a normal wedding? How come at all the weddings, can this, before they get dressed up in the dresses and all that, can this happen at the bachelorette party or something?
Yeah.
How come that's why whenever in soaps, someone's like, ooh, someone's getting married. No, they not. If there's a secret around there, they're not going to get married. I feel like there's been very few people that have been, Luke and Laura were probably the most successful in actually getting married. Lord. Okay, well, then there's that. All right. Well, all right, y'all. One more time before we go. The Brady curve. You're welcome. All right, y'all. That has been our show. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to Dishin Days. That's my cue, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
But before we head out,
Mm-hmm.
Michael Mattis,
Mm-hmm.
tell the kind folks where they can find you on the social medias.
You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at MLMetis.
Justin, let the kind folks know where, what's your favorite social media platform?
Yes. You can find me on Instagram at Justin Lee Harold.
And of course, you guys can find me on all social media platforms at Lounge with Tony, or you can follow all of us on all of our social media platforms. We are Dishin Days Show on Facebook, Dishin Days on Instagram, and _Dishin Days on the Twitter. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We appreciate you coming on and having a wonderful time with us, as we obviously have a great time. We will see you back next Sunday for another full dish of next week's episodes of NBC's #1 award-winning hit soap opera, Days of Our Lives. Until then, have a wonderful week. Watch out for black cats because they might be Susan Banks. And stay
black
prayed
cats.
up. Right. We'll see you guys next week. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Oh, and tell all your friends we do this.
Speaking
Bye.
of full dish.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.